All right, gang. What's going on? It's the grand finals of the big LiuLi Cup. That's right, the 2024 finals. They had a bunch of big tournaments this year. It's culminated in a $7,000 plus grand finals. I think it's like almost 3,000. Actually, sorry, someone said $2,600 first place, which is pretty damn good right now. Clem will play for a $50 tournament because this man just loves playing 12 hours of StarCraft a day, as will MAXPAX at the top right side. It's the first age we've had in StarCraft 2 where the best players in the world are grinding small online cups as much as they're playing the biggest cups. You know, we had a few years of Serral and Maru being utter dominators, and they'd only show up to the biggest events, Rogue sometimes as well, but Clem and MAXPAX, this young generation, they like to use tournaments to practice. They like, you know, to do all the weeklies, but then also when there's a bigger major like this, a major online tournament, major online, so in StarCraft, if you're used to like Counter-Strike and Dota, I think major is like the biggest events, guys. For us, a Premier would be the biggest event. A major event is usually, I think it's like $5,000 plus, or is it $10,000 plus? Maybe this isn't actually a major. Because I guess my tournament was a major because we get it to $10,000 prize pool, Pigfest, right? So we would call that a major tournament. But Premier is the biggest. They're the big, super reputable ones. But either way, it's kind of just short of a major if it doesn't quite qualify for that range. And it's been a lot of the best players in the world playing this tournament over quite a few weeks, so cool to see what happens. Now, Clem's going double gas to start off. He's the favorite generally in a head-to-head versus MAXPAX, but I wouldn't say massively so, and MAXPAX has moments where he just decapitates Clem. Now, arguably, MAXPAX has worn himself out a little bit in that previous match that he's had to play today. It was a long one. It's a pretty epic match. So going now into a match against Clem, you know, it can snowball very quickly one way or the other. But we'll see if MAXPAX can just keep his calm, cool, collected play that we're used to as it's a proxy Starfall. Oh my gosh. Did MAXPAX probe scout? He did. But he's not over there with an Adept just yet. And this is going to be a super fast 4 Hellion drop into the main. I guess the Twilight Council build, which is not the best build against this. You're much better off if you have a Stargate. If you have an Oracle or preferably a Phoenix opening. But very rare for MAXPAX to open Phoenix these days. Reaper's still poking around, not quite getting in there, though. And MAXPAX has no idea what he's up against. He knows it's a double gas, but that is all he knows in this game. He does have a Stalker coming out. You have 3 Gateway units with 2 Hellions out. Wait, where's the 4th Hellion? Where's that Depot? Okay, Depot finishes. 4th Hellion starts. It's going to be moving across in the near future. Medevac's there. The idea is the Hellions drive across, pick into the Medevac as it pops out, boost into the corner of this main, and unload. And there's a lot of space in this main base where you do not have vision as the Protoss. Second gate's on the way nice and quick. Warp gate is almost ready. Got to be careful about these Adepts getting lured out of position as well, because they're out on the map, and if they're not at home, these Broom cars are going to ruin your whole worker line. This is a massive commitment. Clem throwing caution to the wind at the start of this series, and MAXPAX is way too far out of position. MAXPAX has been playing blind. He has no idea what's going on. He's wondering, why is there no Reaper Hellion? What's going on? If these guys find the corner, it's going to be a huge problem. Pylon's coming in now, but it's not quite ready. There's only 2 Adepts, 1 Stalker, and MAXPAX doesn't see it. Oh, no! The Hellions! Straight to the mineral line. MAXPAX A-moves some probes. They're way too clumped. Everything needs to get F2'd over here right now. The Stalker not getting F2'd in the right position. Already 12 workers going down. Make it 14. Oh my god, he doesn't lose a single unit. At the same time, an Adept comes in and denies a few seconds of mining time. MAXPAX feels his heart. He just didn't expect such a big commitment in game 1 of this series. He was playing a little bit blind, and he's being punished for it. And one has to wonder if in a big grand finals, adjusting your playstyle to the modern patch and building an early sentry for scouting might have been a more solid way to play this. Especially against these double gas builds that are so popular. But he gets caught out playing a little bit greedy. MAXPAX almost never utilizes early hallucination. He hasn't really added that to the common repertoire of builds. And he gets completely blindsided. And this is essentially a game-winning Hellion drop. 18 probes mining time. He's going to get 1 more. Make it 19 probes. Now, MAXPAX is going to do what we call the Desperation Flaccid maneuver. This is where you drop your Prism Trousers, get across there with your 5 or 6 Blink Stalkers, and you hope that the Terran lets you pick off Stim, pick off 10 SCVs, you know, deny a lot of things. Unfortunately, of course, we know Clem is the most respectful player against 4-gate Blink. Bunker tank on the natural. This tank even covers both areas, and a tank on the high ground as well for insurance. You blink on that, you're going to lose a lot of Stalkers. And that tank on the high ground is actually not quite covering it. MAXPAX pulls back, gets the Reaper. What did he lose there? Did he lose a Stalker? He lost a Stalker as well. No repair on the tank. Surprising here for Clem. Finally, he starts to do it. A little bit delayed on that, man. More Stalkers warping in on the front. MAXPAX, he's taking breaks in his probe production to do this. He's very committed right now. SCVs are right on top. Marines in bunker going to shoot down a few stalkers, but the tank does go down. More tanks are building, though. And, of course, there's a bunker on the high ground. So Clem's going to need to get Marines inside that bunker. Get ready. He's got to protect this other tank. It's a bit more protected because the stalkers will blink in and be nowhere near in range. One stalker already goes down to the blink in. Prism's ready to drop the adepts as well. Oh, actually, it's 2 stalkers inside the prism, isn't it? Another tank comes out. Insta-sieges. MAXPAX losing another stalker. Can't be affording that. The Zealot goes down as well. And Clem here, he's up 30 supply, he's up 10 workers. He can take so much damage and still be fine. Another Stalker goes down. This does not look clean for MAXPAX, and MAXPAX just blindsided by the Hellion drop, and he gets walloped in game 1. All right, straight into map 2. Dominating game 1. It was a big risk for Clem. That build is a really risky build. If they're in position and they only lose a few probes, your follow-up is weak. But Clem realized, I have completely ruined you with this drop. Builds a bunker on the high ground, gets his multiple tanks. And that respect for the blink pressure is something that he has earned, or developed, I should say, after getting killed by MAXPAX blink pressure so many times. And he really, what's made Clem so good in this matchup is his ability to wall off every game to counter that blink pressure. This map doesn't even have the best blink pressure, but you can expect, of course, you can blink up here. So barracks goes there, but expect the factory and starport to build here. I'll put a tank behind it, and stalkers blinking in and just running into a bad position. He often builds a big 3 or 4 building wall, so that even if the stalkers blink in, they have to then run around the buildings to get to the siege tank, which is just not a viable choice. All right, we've got a gate scout coming across. It is a gate into a gas pylon there. You can put the cyber core behind the minerals for a semi-wall off. Doesn't want to build the wall off down here, as that is a bit exposed, and that's fair enough. No scout just yet. It's a single gas opening for Clem. Interesting. So he's going to go back. He goes super aggressive double gas. I like to see a single gas build mixed in. I do think Terran players abuse double gas a bit more than they should. Now, MAXPAX did not scout for eBay block. Cancels the Zealot here and builds a Nexus. Wait, he's not canceling the Zealot? Because he knows it's an expand. Ah, okay. Normally you cancel the Zealot if there's no eBay, but he knows it's not a double gas build, so he says, oh, you know what? Sure. Let's run that Zealot across. He's got the second pylon coming in as well. That should time out so that he can build the Adept without too much delay. It's usually delayed about, what, 3 seconds or so here, I think? We'll find out. You see the Cyber Core finishes, and the pylon's about 2 seconds delayed, so you'll queue up an Adept, and we'll see a chrono as that pylon finishes. Yeah, nice pressure. So Zealot dodges the Reaper. He goes around the side of the map. There is a Marine coming up, and Clem normally pretty safe with building a bunker before second gas. He's being greedy, though. He goes barracks factory second gas, no bunker until after the second gas. And it's a little late. He's building a second Marine, though, so it's fine. If he was going reactor and delaying the bunker this long, this could be a problem, but he keeps the Reaper at home. He's actually looking for the Zealot. He has no scouting, but he's just playing so safe, realizing he's open to this. Wow, Clem, good micro here, man. Very good micro. Marine pulls to the left. SCV's in trouble. Oh, Zealot gets a hit off. The Marine's looking very good with its micro, and you can see he's done that StarCraft Master challenge. Clem knows how to not get hit. Zealot doesn't land anything. Adept a little bit slow to arrive, and that bunker, man, it feels like this Adept could have done another Shade earlier and could have grabbed an SCV potentially, but he's gonna have to pull back. Cancels the Shade. Oh, already cancels the Shade. Reaper's doing damage to him. MAXPAX, second Adept joins in though. That's where you can turn on this MAXPAX. A little bit discoordinated, discombobulated. It's uncoordinated is the word. We just conjoined uncoordinated with discombobulated, but he's a bit disjointed with his units syncing up. He's got to make sure his build's perfectly tight from here. Could be a bit of a shaky start to the series that throws MAXPAX off his game. Clem's got to, you know, keep the pressure up, keep playing clean. If he can win a quick second game as well, MAXPAX, I don't think he's like the tiltiest player, but he definitely can get upset. Both players can. Gets a Marine there, does lose an Adept, but damages the Reaper in the Hellion, which you'd think is good, of course. Remember, Reaper injects some of those combat drugs, heals himself up, and the Hellion gets repaired by that single SCV as well. Raven's coming out. That'll be a nice harassment unit. Tech Lab on the factory. You can see this is that wall off we were talking about. So blink aggression, not going to do anything. You put a tank here, Stalkers blink up there, and they're just getting wrecked. The Adept Shade's so annoying to deal with when you're playing someone this good who constantly cycles through them. And it looks like it's a 3-gate blink robo. Third gas should go down right now. Oh, we got an Adept in. Wasn't expecting that. Dude, what's Clem doing? Guys, why did Clem pull this many SCV? What the hell? Guys, what the hell? Clem just pulled 10 SCVs for an Adept. What's he doing? Guys, I normally only see that when I'm playing Platinum players in team games. Like, you know, when you sign up, you start playing team games with a friend you haven't played before, so you're like, I gotta play people in, like, Gold League or something. Not even Platinum League. Platinum League's too high. You like gold and below. And you get a Reaper in and they just pull the whole worker line and A-move it at you. That was crazy. That was, like, a really dumb move for Clem, and I think he'd be the first to say that as well. Very weird. You know, an Adept is not a problem. The fact that it got out as well. Very nice. Stalkers are on the front, ready to slow this push down. Raven hasn't gone across the map, which is very peculiar. So normally he prioritizes that going in, but he's going to try to keep it at home. Sorry, accidental button press there to jump home. Stalkers shut this down. MaxPax in control now. Looks like, I think his Adept just died here to the siege tank siege up. Stalkers coming in. And with the tank on siege, happy to pick off a Marine. Gets himself a second Marine. And, oh, I would have liked him to get a volley on the tank there as well, just to tickle it, but it is what it is. Third barracks comes up. He's going to be swapping these barracks onto the tech lab. Stim, shields, factory building a reactor, and of course the starport should build a reactor as well. Reaper's still alive in the far north. Clem's kind of acting like he wants to attack. He really doesn't want to actually push forward. I can't imagine he does. Raven hunting down the observer up north. Does he get it? He does. Nice snipe there. Then again, it's not too bad losing an observer. If you're going Stalker charge, you don't need the gas all that much. Third gas is now mining for MaxPax. He's only up 3 workers in total, being very devious with his unit movement. And it's kind of odd that Clem's trying to push right now. SCVs get pulled off the line. The Stalkers are going to blink into the main, take it out of Marauder instantly. Dude, MaxPax, if he gets Stim, that's massive. He's going up the SCVs. The SCVs need to run away. He needs to pull his army up. He's trying to trap him from retreating. Clem is not moving up his own ramp to defend. This is bizarre. The Stalkers can just stay in the main base because there's nothing but workers. Clem right now is playing a little bit like a drunkard with his SCVs, pulling them to fight with no actual fighting units. He's losing so many SCVs right now. He is killing a lot of Stalkers, though. And you know what? A lot of the SCVs were damaged, but they didn't quite die. That was bizarre, the way he didn't pull any units into his main to stop that, and only to the outside. Clem right now, like, mate, what are we doing? You just smashed game 1 in the easiest fashion ever. Take a deep breath and calm down. That was bizarre. Very bizarre. Clem's he's got to just situate himself. For those who don't know, Clem I said MaxPax is not really the biggest tilt lord. Clem absolutely has historically been one, but in recent years, he's found a way, even when he gets frustrated, to play even better, right? You'll see him get angry, see him get frustrated, and he just plays better and he calms himself down and gets back onto business. But definitely a little shaky in game 2, and that gives MaxPax map control to 62 probes. He's got a 4th base about to start. He's got Immortal's charge. Robo-Bay, does he have a sentry? Yeah, he always goes for that 1 sentry. MaxPax is the king of always having Guardian Shield available. Here comes the Stim push finally. 3rd command center only now starting the main base for Clem. And he's going to poke forward Stalkers. Good blink away, but he will lose that red hit point 1 almost certainly. Surely. He does lose it, but at least he gets another Marine or 2. Might bait another Stim here out of him as a Prism goes in. Prism going into the main is going to be a problem. Clem doesn't have too much at home. When I say too much, he has nothing. He's got 2 Marines in Marauder on the natural. Remember, all these workers damaged from that earlier Stalker attack. But the Marauders do get on out, trying to defend it. That Zealot being shift-clicked on those SCVs, trying to get after them. It does try to get a few of them, but not too many actually go down. There's still those 6 Stalkers on the map as well over here, mixing it up with the sentries. The Immortal, the first Colossus building, but it's not ready yet. No extended thermal lance. 110 supply versus 103. MaxPax has a monumental economic advantage. Clem needs to get some work done soon. He cannot waste much more time. Yes, his 3rd command center is on the way, but his work account's not in a good spot. Ooh, he catches MaxPax not looking, but a big Zealot warp in, and this army looks a little small for Clem. It looks very small. Good force field. Clem clicks on the Nexus, and does pick up to save from that force field. Bio that. Gonna try and keep the pressure up. He stims again. I don't think he can get this Nexus. Surely not. He's trying to bait MaxPax into a fight, but I honestly think MaxPax, with 1 more warp in, will shut this down. But he's got to keep the Nexus alive. He's going to have to do the warp in now. It should be coming off cooldown. Zealots come from the flank. Immortal Stalker on the front. The tanks go down. Great cleanup for MaxPax. And that is clearly an overcommitment for Clem. He had a lot of units at home that were stuck there dealing with the Prism from before. And he was a bit overcommitted on the forward side of the map. That's a big mistake for Clem. Units lost time, dead even between the two. But remember, MaxPax has been ahead in workers. Warps in a lot of Zealots. He's going Prism in the main with 4 Zealots and Zealots running into the 3rd. Colossus is now out. Clem cannot break this army. There is no way. He's standing his ground, a little bit slow on the reaction for Clem. That's because there's a Zealot drop fighting the SCVs in the main. The SCVs probably shouldn't be fighting Zealots. Zealots breaking the bunker at the same time. MaxPax threatening to chase that army home. In the main base, the SCVs go back to mine. Clem is going to GG out. He knows that he's messed that game up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Guys, we've got to go back. I did not expect him to let an Adept in. he got tilted the way I get tilted. Check this out. I remember playing a game against Creator 6 months ago or something like that, or a year ago. And I remember just having to constantly raise my depot and lower it because he had 2 adepts shading in constantly. And like it triggered me because I'm too slow to do that while macroing his Terran. And I was like, this is so annoying. But you can see here, he gets an adept, then there comes the 3rd adept, and then he just lets one in. He's like, okay, raised it, lowered it, raised it, lowered it. And he's like, oh God, this is annoying. So he lets one in there, accidentally, makes a mistake. And he shits the bed here. Sorry, excuse my language. He just pulls all these SCVs. Super unnecessary. I guess he doesn't want to let more adepts in the base. That adept runs in there at the same time. So these SCVs, he loses a crazy amount of mining time. He does kill that adept pretty quickly. But it's insane that he pulled so many SCVs to attack this. Normally you just pull the weak SCVs away from it and rely on some units. But I think he was just solo on Marines. And his Reaper and Hellion were like, I guess, out front or something. Where were the Reaper and Hellion when that started? When that adept got in? Oh, yeah, because I think sneaking out with the Reaper and the Hellion kind of is part of what got him in trouble here. Because he just didn't have enough mobile. He's got 6 Marines. And he's like, I can't cover the natural and the main at the same time. So moving out the Reaper and Hellion, and then he just like, oh God, I don't have enough units. And he kind of made a big mistake. But then when these Stalkers came in, it was interesting as well. Because essentially what Clem was doing here was he was being naughty. I know that's a weird way to describe this, but I don't know how else to describe it. He killed the Observer, and he figured if I've denied your vision and I make it look like I'm pushing out, it's hard for you to figure out, am I moving right? Am I moving left? And he tried to move out here really early, but he loses a few units, and he keeps trying to move forward, and he actually bleeds out a few Marines, number one. So he bleeds out a few Marines unnecessarily, trying to, like, bully MAXPAX off the map and scare him. But then MAXPAX just goes past, and this is something where you see massive losses to this. And this is really important because, yeah, he gets in the bunker, only loses 1 Marine. Then he loses an SCV, another SCV. Marauder gets 1 shot, the Marine gets 1 shot. And then he's like, you got to pull, these guys should be pulling this way. But you can see he just pull his whole army in that direction. And he loses the Raven, loses a bunch of SCVs. He's got no mining on the natural, no mining in the main right now. I mean, the income lost alone here is crazy. Even though your unit's lost tab, you might think, oh, like you killed a bunch of valuable Stalkers, this is fine. It's like, well, not only are all the SCVs damaged, the Stalkers have kept the army at home, so MAXPAX is fine, even though he's got no units at home right now, right? Like, except those Stalkers that he recalls in 1 sentry. He had nothing at home, so he actually legitimately was worried about that push. That's why he dove with the Stalkers. But because he scared Clem back, did all that worker damage, and then he's back out on the front before Clem can move out again, it just feels like Clem's in a really bad spot from this point. So letting the Adept in, trying to sneak the Reaper Alien out, then trying to sneak this army out, felt like Clem was, you know, he could have just sat on 2 base, moved out a little bit later, closer to Stim, and it would have been a simple game. But of course, Clem was trying to get every bit of value he could, and MAXPAX punished him for it. Really nice game 2 here for MAXPAX. Well, all right, MAXPAX gets a point on the board. This one's not going to be a clean sweep by any means. MAXPAX fighting back there in game 2. It's Whispers of Gold, Clem in the top left as well. Team Liquid up against, of course, Psystorm for MAXPAX. Clem is so used to leaning on his opponent and then defending anything random with his magic wand. That was the one game where his magic wand broke, says Waterdrop. I agree. It's a fun way of saying that. It's a fun way of putting it. It's like he's so used to, yeah, just really pushing the envelope as much as he can. You know, pushing the limits of what you should be able to do and finding ways to get away with it so his opponent can't punish him. Now, what is this? What is this? Oh, it's gas first eBay block, is it? Does he get there in time to eBay block? I think he sent the SCV too late. Right? If MAXPAX... Oh, but MAXPAX doesn't go Nexus before Core. He always goes Core before Nexus. So it should be fine, because you can start the eBay a bit later. And actually, he will get there before a minute 25 either way. Yeah, it's fine. This is a pretty short rush distance map. Okay, I thought he sent that a little bit late. I was like, did he send that a little bit late? I think he might have sent that a little late, but no. It's fine. It's on the later end, but that's okay. Goes for the eBay there. And of course, the probe comes in. He should know from the barracks timing. It's a couple seconds late. We'll see if Max... I don't know if MAXPAX is that good with his scouting knowledge. But if he clicks on that gas, do we see a red circle on the gas? He should click on the gas. He didn't click on the gas. MAXPAX might not realize it's a gas first, but he sees a cybercore. Did he even see that? And he was already heading to the third. I think he already knew he was getting blocked. And Clem's like, no, you can't take this base either, mate. Oh, Clem getting the nasty off here, guys. MAXPAX is like, fine, I'll take the front base. I don't even care, man. I don't even care. Pylon into Nexus. Now, he went Pylon first because he wants to make sure he can build units immediately out of that. Oh, this is going to be weird, man. How much do you, what do you pressure though? Do you commit to just 2 Hellions? Or do you go hard on like 4 Hellions and maybe even drop them as well? I feel like just 2 Hellions is a nice way to make the Protoss uncomfortable, and then you just play a macro game from it. I don't think you need to play too crazy. Then again, gets the money back from it, canceling the eBay. Command Center is so late with this, and he builds it on the high ground as well. And you do slow your own build down a lot. This is like a lot of Terran versus Protoss openings that just mess the Protoss build up so that I can surprise them in the future. And he's actually not even going to go Hellions, just Widowmine, Marines, and no doubt a Starport, taking priority over Marine production right now. He wants to get that medevac out. So he starts the Starport, then Marines, because he wants the medevac to be out as quick as possible so he can boost 6 Marines and a mine across the map. Scouting knowledge, these guys know what each other's underwear size is. Yeah, you're probably right, to be fair. Hey, these guys have played enough games. They got a good sense for each other. Second gate Twilight coming in. Nexus is up now. Oh, MAXPAX, careful, bud. Careful, mate. He could bait the Widow Mine with a really good shade. That's gonna be hard. Underwear have sizes, says QED K-Org. Oh, that's a good question, actually. Yeah, surely they just have like medium, large, small, right? Because I mean, there are people that are a lot bigger than me, and elastic goes only so far, right? I don't think they're as specific as like, oh, I need an exactly 32 waist or whatever, you know? Like, I don't think they're like that, but I wouldn't know my underwear size off the top of my head either. Probably just buy the standard, the medium ones, and be like, yeah, I'm relatively generically sized, it's fine. Probably something you only need to worry about if you're a bit differently sized. If you're not in the middle, you know? You're on the edges. All right, here he goes. Adept comes forward, guys. Cyclone's going to move out, looking for maybe a little pick-off. Cyclone going to find an Adept, but it is the Adept that was already shading, so if he steers that shade elsewhere... Oh, a Stalker ambush! Oh, 3 Stalkers in the middle of the map. He was not expecting that. He was not expecting Stalkers to be in the middle of the map. He thought, well, surely you're going to be worried about a Hellion drop or something. MAXPAX is like, no, dude, I saw that your factory wasn't on the reactor, so I didn't need to worry about that. Stalker goes down to the Widow Mine, but he punishes it at least by killing the Widow Mine, which is good. There's a tank out and a medevac. This is a very aggressive play. Second tank starting. Clem's going to pick up 8 Marines and try to sneak across the map. The Adept's going to see it happen, man. He can't pick up with the Adepts watching him. Because, yeah, it's like Clem wants to boost around the right side and go drop the back of the main. I guarantee you he wants to do that. Yeah, he's trying to sneak out. For now, he's just hanging on that right side. Third base coming up. MAXPAX, 3-gate, Blink Robo. Dude, MAXPAX is a guy who will just be forced to take a bad expand, and he'll just do a completely normal build. And you're like Hero here would be like, I'm going 2-base, Glaive Adept, Phoenix or something. You know, and MAXPAX is like, I just do my normal build. It's fine. I just like move my units a bit differently, that's all. Oh, 1 Stalker got left behind with the Blink. Tank's in position, does get a bit of damage on these units, and it's very well placed to guard the Tech Labs. Only 1 SCV for the first wave. Adepts take a bit of a shot there. Fighting the Marines on their own would be good. I mean, you could pick off the gases, to be fair, on the south side. Stalker's looking for value. The tank on the low ground gets a shot off as well, though. Gonna have to be careful. I mean, he could blink and go for the tank. It's a bit of a crazy choice, but it's an option. Gonna blink away, backing away as MAXPAX. Forge comes up. He's on 3 gates still only. As the Forge comes up, we've got to wonder, when is the Sentry and the Immortal? Or does he go for 5 more gateways first? He's still building Stalkers on the front. MAXPAX wants to be in his opponent's face. We've heard a lot of players say this patch, it's good for Protoss. As long as you're in your opponent's face, you're attacking, you're making him be defensive. But the moment you're on the defense and you're defending a stiff push, yes, we do miss the battery overcharge. It is a little painful. But if I'm in the driver's seat, they say with energy recharge, always having Guardian Shield, Storm refills later, especially against Zerg, is so good. Stalker drop ready on the right side. Stalker Observer ready in the main. And Clem is forced to play super defensive now. So this is MAXPAX is making Clem play the style of game that he doesn't really enjoy playing. Clem wants to be in his opponent's face, and he just can't do it here. So, great play. Oh, Raven Viking gets rid of the Observer. That's a good move. Third base is saturating, though. 5 gateways are building, like we said. So it's 5 gateways. Expect a 4th gas to go down. And a Robo Bay very shortly. Yep. Interesting, he goes Robobay, doesn't build the 4th gas straight away. Like, in my mind, those things always go together, but he always does one and then comes back a few seconds later to build the other. It's such a weird habit, because for me, like as a slow player, my instinct is always pair things together and do it in one go. You could see MAXPAX pulled a probe, built the Robobay, went back to mining, did something else, came back, pulled a different probe to build the 4th gas like 2 seconds later. Isn't that just so fascinating? Like, can you guys imagine a world where you're not restrained by your slow hands at all? You're just a 400 APM 22-year-old who just clicks everything, blinding speed. It's the dream, man. Great contain right now. Vision on all sides. Robobay is there. +1's almost finished. 8 gateways are up. I hate the building placement's really bad. If a drop gets up here, MAXPAX is really going to struggle to defend his own base. He's going to have to go through this little maze. Really awkward building placement for him. But that only matters if Clem Doom drops his main, which, let's be honest, is the main way Terran wins this map. Terran loves Doom dropping the main here. First Colossus only now starting. He needs to defend the front. It's a scary moment right now. Clem's got a big army, dude, but Zealots come in on the rally. Try to grab the tanks. The tanks both get saved. They both took damage, but they didn't die. And the Prism looks like it actually wants to set up a flank, maybe. Stalker's poking forward. Anti-armor missile could be big. The Raven's a bit far forward. Clem. Oh my god, Clem just threw his Raven away, and he stimmed really early. He could get force field trapped. Energy recharge could ruin him. And look at that big wave of force fields. And he blinks forward against the full medevac that was trying to save them. MAXPAX. Oh, he takes Clem to town. And look at that, guys. Command Center comes in. Zealot's like, thank you very much. Send all the SCVs here you want. Zealot flank comes in for a buy. Not the best move for MAXPAX. Will lose 3 of those Zealots as Clem quickly tries to get out of trouble. MAXPAX chasing him home. That single Zealot with 2 kills. Clem, he pushed so aggressively. Just zero respect for the sentries. I think he saw they were out of energy. And part of Clem's brain went to the last patch and said, you don't have energy. You can't force field me. MAXPAX energy recharges. It drops an extra 2 force fields. And Clem goes, oh, crap. You know, uh-oh. I've done a doo-doo, haven't I? Boosts in, picks it up, but MAXPAX was on point, dude. Sniping the full medevac to punish those pickups. Such a good move for MAXPAX. And the tanks just weren't far enough forward to really cover Clem. MAXPAX going to keep pushing. Prism's going to try to warp in some more Zealots over there, but he's a bit far forward and he loses both sentries. Oh, a little nasty. Got to be careful here, Maxi. Oh, I think MAXPAX is overcommitting. Oh no, MAXPAX overcommits here. Loses his whole army. Big mistakes for him. He does have Zealots coming in from the other side. Look at that master repair. Lol. Get wrecked, Protoss players, says Clem. Beautiful repair micro. There is another Colossus over there. Did he lose his Prism? He lost his Prism as well. Oh, MAXPAX, he was in such a good position. He overcommits to the push, loses his sentries, loses the rest of his army without getting his warp in time. Big mistake here for MAXPAX. That gets very costly. And now Clem, he finds himself, with a second lease on life. An ability to potentially win a game where it felt like he had given up momentum and would have to turtle to the late game. Now he's in the driver's seat. Tanks on the front line. I don't know how those tanks are still not dead. Stalkers get rid of one of them, which is nice. Force fields are brilliantly placed by MAXPAX to hold back the Pyro, give him time to get out some more units. Zealots on the third. Zealots in the natural. The Widow Mines will clear the natural Zealots, but it's going to be hard to defend the third. The third base of Clem not mining. MAXPAX could give this base up, but on 75 workers, you don't want to go back to 3 base right now. Second Colossus is out. Where's the third one? It's in production right now. Extended Thermal Lance, 2-1 upgrades, not quite there. Trying desperately to defend is MAXPAX. I don't think he wants to give this base up. I think he's going to commit, but the problem is that's a lot of Marauders, and committing to fighting here could be a problem unless you come in with a Zealot flank. Zealot flank from behind. He picks up, and removing these tanks is such an important victory for MAXPAX. Those tanks are thorn in his side for the last few minutes. Maintains control of his fourth. Only loses 7 workers. That is huge. Remember, Clem does not have a long-term play. He's only now building second eBay armory. He doesn't have a 4th command center. And his Viking count is at 2 against 3 Colossus, which means MAXPAX is far ahead of the curve. We saw what happens in that other series when you don't have enough Vikings to deal with the Colossus, where Hero built 5 Colossus and hammered him. Guys, look at that. It doesn't see it. Now he sees it. Now he sees it. Remember that main base I was talking about? Luckily, the Forge will finish +2 just before that drop gets in the next 2 seconds. But you can see this awkward positioning of this building. It's kind of like walling himself out. And you could argue it protects the Colossus from getting dived on. But you can see they're getting stuck as well behind the buildings a little bit. Only 3 Stalkers here. Good blink back micro. But look at that. Oh! Oh, Clem loses a medevac. I can't believe it. Did MAXPAX click on an empty one? I'm not sure if that had units in it or not. Clem gets a snipe on another base. This game's getting messy. And look at that. Stalker's in the middle. Prism's going to potentially get caught. Stalker's great blink back micro. Single Marine injects drugs and says, I will destroy you. The War Prism, the most hated unit by Terran and Zergs who are playing versus Protoss in the world. And the Marines do manage to chase it down. Stalker's out hunting down all but one of those drops. Well, 2 medevacs, but one of them has units in it. MAXPAX getting mad value on this drop cleanups. And then losing his 4th base in the midst of it, though. I mean, MAXPAX needs to drop a 4th and potentially even a 5th base right now. He's making +2 armor. Dark Shrine. I think he's decided this game is so messy, I need a Dark Shrine. He is ahead in upgrades by 1 right now. But of course, we can see 2-2 has started for Clem. He's going to close the gap in the upgrades, add a Ghost Academy, and his own 4th command center is almost finished. 30 army supply advantage for Terran right now. Wait, where'd the full medevac go, guys? We see an empty medevac. Did he just fly in and lose it? Where'd the full medevac go? Oh no, it was with it. Sorry, that was 2 medevacs directly on top of each other. I'm blind, guys. What can I say? I'm getting old over here, guys. Turned 36 a month ago, and now I'm just like, no, what are the blue things doing on this screen? What are these red bits doing? Oh, there's more blue bits than red bits. I'm just going to start reading the numbers, guys. That's how you phone it in as a StarCraft commentator. I'm like, 183 supply versus 156. 65 workers versus 69. Army supply 120 versus 87. You just say it like it really means something, and you just keep repeating them. And people, you can fool some people. Stalker trying to pull back. Zealot Stalker hanging out. 3 Colossus are there. 2 sentries. Big bio army. MAXPAX needs to just stall this out. And max out, dude. Like, if you can max out, you'll be fine. I like this 5th base location. You want to be controlling this northern side of the map because then you don't need to leave units in your main because you're kind of out front of that base. You can't really drop. Clem keeps changing targets on the Widow Mine. That's some classic Clem micro that has been lacking a little bit in this series so far, even though it is a very close hard-fought series. We haven't really had too many moments for him to do that fancy micro. It's been, you know, MAXPAX who's been getting that done. Dark Templar, not a Dark Shrine, built from the Dark Shrine. The Dark Templar dropped in the main base. And it does take out the Sensor Tower that was trying to be built. This one's going to try to run in the 3rd, kill a Widow Mine. But looks like an SCV or 2 goes down, go CMP it, snipe down the Dark Templar. And this guy spots the army, EMP blasts it. And really good handling of that situation by Clem. But it does force Clem to kind of focus on his defenses a little bit more. And the disruptor production is now coming in. 2nd Robo starts on the 4th. 70 workers for MAXPAX, 67 for Clem. And it looks like this is going to reset to a disruptor game. 11 Vikings versus 3 Colossus. Right now, Clem can just win the game. As long as he doesn't lose to the 2-2 Mass Zealot, which he shouldn't because he's got equal upgrades now. He's got 11 Vikings. The Colossus are basically worthless. The Stalkers pick one off, which is great. But I mean, MAXPAX should delay fighting until he has a few disruptors or Psystorm or something out. Because he's essentially on a Mass Zealot army against a guy with the same upgrades playing Bio Ghost. And that's really bad as Protoss, especially when 3-3's now started for Terran. No 3-3 started for Protoss. MAXPAX is a bit poorer in this game, and he's absolutely in a rough spot. He's got 1 ball. He's holding it back for now. But you can see the Vikings are going to cause a lot. Disruptor! Disruptor lands! A massive ball lands. Clem running into the Disruptor. I think he misclicked on it. Oh my god, he just lost like 25 army supply to that. Marine Marauder pulling back. Dude, he didn't even kill the Colossus. One of the Colossus is still alive. He lost all of his Vikings. A massive misstep for Clem. His army was objectively better than MAXPAX there. The only way MAXPAX was going to win that fight was with a lucky ball shot. And I mean, Clem didn't just get unlucky. He stepped into it. He confidently stepped into the disruptor shot, knowing in his heart of hearts that he was going to kill it before the shot went off. And he wasn't able to. And that is a huge turnaround in a game that was looking pretty decent for Clem. There was a moment earlier in this series, it looked kind of bad. But remember, you know, he got in that position. He got in a nice spot. He did some good damage. Clem had the supply lead, had more army. But now he is getting pushed back. The Stalker's had enough after that big disruptor shot. There's still a Colossus on the field, more being rebuilt, and Clem getting pushed all the way into his base. Disruptor takes out the Ghost. Zealot Stalker hammering, and Clem with a GG. Alright guys, so looking at this last fight, I don't think he actually EMP'd his medevacs at all, but because he was so behind on the Viking count, he actually only has 4 medevacs. Remember, he lost 4 medevacs in all the previous fights. So those medevacs getting sniped, dropping the main, actually cost him a lot. He stimmed a few times in a couple skirmishes leading up to this point, and he's actually got no medevac healing. So it's actually just incredibly dangerous for Clem to be fighting right now anyway. And let's watch this from Clem's point of view as this sequence happens. This is not as fast as actual game speed, guys. The Zealots are coming in, but he's not even looking at it. He's not distracted. And here he runs forward going, oh yeah, I can easily click on that Disruptor. But I think he stopped to click on the Zealot first. And then The Colossus actually roasts that whole front wave of Marines, so he doesn't have many units in range of the Disruptor. These Marauders are barely stuck outside of range here, right? You can kind of see that he's barely, these Marauders, I think 1 or 2 of them's in range, but not that many. And and the Marauder, it got to like 1, how many hit points? Like 1 hit point or something, guys? It died like the second after, it's dead at this point. I know it doesn't look like it, but I can't even click on that. It's dead. Oh, so he was actually so close to killing that. Let's watch that one more time. Yeah, okay, so you can see the Zealots just blocking really well, and you can see here, there's just a fraction of time left. If even like 2 more Marines hit this, 2 or 3 more Marine hits, it wouldn't have gone off. But that's a massive hit to his army, so he loses a lot of army. His Vikings are also getting hammered, and he then doesn't have healing because he's got to stim his whole army home, and he's only got 4 medevacs that have no energy. Yeah, that's a crazy bad sequence, man. That's like he just got chucked in the dumpster right there. All right, guys, MAXPAX now up 2-1 there. What a tragic turn of events for Clem in the bottom left, who I've had news from my Twitch chat. Someone said they were watching live yesterday, and they said apparently he was punching his keyboard, and it wasn't the first time on the camera feed after that moment. So they said, you know, he'd already punched his keyboard once or twice, and he's had a few bizarre mistakes. Now, someone in the chat said, oh, you know, look at that. This is what I hate about the Disruptor. 2 seconds, and the game's over. Don't get me wrong. I totally agree that the Disruptor's a very crazy unit design. It's insane how much damage it does. In a game where your units clump up this badly, it is crazy. On the other hand, at this level of play, it's not like Clem just wasn't looking for 2 seconds and died. It was Clem actively saw a Disruptor fire at him and decided to run his army towards it in a ball and try to click it down. He took an insanely high-risk decision there. He also had no medevac healing and didn't seem to be aware of that. He should have probably stopped at 10 Vikings, at most 12, and already gone back to more medevac production, because that's more important to keep him alive in that game, but I don't think he was monitoring his medevacs. I think he just didn't realize how fragile his situation was and that he should be a lot more careful there. So, you know, if you charge forward like that, you're running into melee combat with the Zealots, you're running clumped into Colossus shots. Normally when you're stepping away, Colossus aren't attacking you very much, and when they are, they're only hitting 1 guy on the edge. But when you run towards Colossus, the Colossus splash damage is maximized. The Zealots are actually landing hits, whereas normally Zealots, if you're running back and shooting, Zealots don't normally land a lot of hits. When you run forward, suddenly they do. So it was a big mistake for Clem to step forward, and that sort of high-risk decision-making for him, usually when it pays off, is part of what makes him so frustrating to play against, is he'll run towards a situation where many players would run away from it. But it backfired there. And that's the thing. If you play this high-risk, high-reward style, very little margin for error like Clem does, you can't be making mistakes like that. Now, MAXPAX is up 2-1 in the series. It's a best of 7. 2 more wins, and he could win the whole series. But I doubt Clem is going to be making that making that easy for him. What's this? Are we going 2 barracks? Oh, no, that's Command Center. Sorry, his Command Center hasn't even started yet. Okay, so we're going to go Reaper into Reactor, Factory on the right side. Reaper's going to go towards the main base as well. How many times has Clem killed the Disruptor? I don't blame him for making the decision. Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, right, we've seen like 15 times he's run forward, clicked the Disruptor down before the shot gets off. Probably 20-1, he kills the Disruptor. He just misjudged it in that situation. Back in the day, everyone used to get hit by Disruptors. Clem was the first player who got really at next level at dodging them. And the old joke was you need at least 7 or 8 Disruptors against Clem to start landing them. Because if you've just got 4, 5, 6, he's just going to dodge every shot in such quick succession, maybe kill a few of them while they're firing as well, and then before, you know, they cool down and ready, he's going to get in there and kill everything else out. Now, Adept manages to get a bit of damage, an SCV for an Adept. It's decent, but obviously it's not super good for MAXPAX. Battery coming up. He's got a semi-wall on the natural. It's a pretty big commitment, guys. Couple Reapers, couple Aliens here. This is just Marine Starport Factory Tech Lab behind it. MAXPAX, super respectful. He says, you know what? 2 Stalkers are a bit weak against this. Let's just temporarily wall off. Now, wisely, Clem clicks the Robo, because Robos are incredibly fragile buildings. And that baits MAXPAX into cancelling the gateway. But the Stalkers get themselves a Reaper for their trouble, and they're happy to take that trade as a 3rd gateway goes up in the main base. Expect MAXPAX to take that 3rd gas probably about 10, 15 seconds from now, I would guess. As his natural gets close to saturated, he's naturally going to want to do that. Sometimes I guess, does he start his third base with a 3-gate before taking the third gas? He might do that. Hellion Reaper dancing with the Stalkers, but with the batteries behind it, it's good. Marine's coming forward. Dude, he's committing. What the hell? Oh, wow. If you go for a fast third here, it's going to be so hard to survive. Oh, Clem leaning into the aggression. 3 Stalkers in the main, 3 in the natural. The Stalker Warpins are being good. The third gateway's coming up. The Reaper Alien into a Cyclone here. The Cyclone gets a lock on. Nice Cyclone lock on. That's going to drain that shield battery quickly. Actually, the shield battery doesn't even get to heal in time. Stalker goes down. Nice hot pickups there with the medevac. I don't think he can just stand and fight with the Stalkers necessarily, but he can try to pick things off. Another unit does go down. Another Hellion out front. Clem wisely backs away. With Blink ready, you got to be careful. And oh, he just barely gets out of there. But I think those Stalkers will have another Blink ready, and they should be able to maybe just barely get the Cyclone. Yes, they do. Really well played. Counter drop coming in for Clem. Is he safe at home, though? He doesn't have many units, guys. He's got a few Marines. He's got a tank. Puts the tank nice and far back. Stalkers might go for a divey dive. Marines going to go in on the third base and focus that third Nexus down. That's a good move. 3 Stalkers on the way. Hellions and Reapers looking for the counterattack over there. Medevac picks up, rotates, does not commit to the kill, realizing it's hard to get that. Liberator sieged up, but the Stalkers just move around it. Great blink by. Tank pops out. It's going to try to fight with the SCVs here. Stalkers are going to get rid of that tank. That's a problem for Clev. He tries to pull it back, but great Stalker micro there. Reaper Hellion in the main base. They're starting to kill probes right now. MAXPAX a bit slow to respond. He's already lost 5 workers here as the Marine drop is in the third base at the same time. Medevac goes down. Stalkers starting to fall. A crazy chaotic game. Pylon goes down, canceling that warp in the main base. The Reaper Hellion does get taken out. The Marines do not focus the Pylon. Clem miss. What's he doing? He got panicked. I think he F2'd at home. He F2'd at home. He was targeting the Pylon, but then he F2 A moved. Clem in panic. We are so used to seeing Clem not panic, not F2ing, but he just is not organized in this game because he's been on the back foot. And that Liberator is just chilling right now. He's going to try and rotate it. Stalker's going to find it. If he comes over to the south, blinks on the high ground, he may get this Liberator on the rotation. But no, MAXPAX waiting for another warp in. 11 Stalkers ready. Only 41 probes, but with a third Nexus up, MAXPAX feels confident. If he can do some damage with the Stalkers, probe up his third, get to that 60 workers against a guy whose stim has not even started, it's going to be wonderful. Bunker does have a few SCVs. He needs more repair. The Stalkers take care of it. MAXPAX with the nice pickups as well. The Marines and the SCVs starting to fall. No tanks on the natural. Clem over-committing to defending the main base, and he has to tap out there. Clem leans into extreme aggression. It doesn't work out, and you can see that, I don't know, man, it's tough. If you go for that sort of pressure he went, and they're ready for it, and they just kind of shut you down with Stalkers and a battery, good micro, get their third up, you find yourself so exposed at home. Building the Liberator was just a huge waste of money. Like, if he had the Liberator hit the main, maybe he could have done something, but he ended up without enough Marines, without enough tanks. He just couldn't hold on. MAXPAX up 3-1 in this grand finals. Holy crudsicles, guys. MAXPAX has no chill whatsoever. Psystorm Gaming's MAXPAX in the bottom left. He is 1 game away from potentially winning a big tournament here, the LiuLi Cup. Not as big as, obviously, a huge premiere, but I mean, out of these online ones, this is a little smaller. About half the prize pool of the Masters Coliseum from last week, which he did do very well in as well, but I mean, it would be massive for him to take down Clem in an important tournament like this. Clem, no doubt tilted. Losing that first tank was a disaster. Maybe if he pulled that tank back a little bit quicker, got some SCVs to repair it, maybe, but losing that tank is nasty. He's going to go for an eBay block. MAXPAX has not been scouting for eBay blocks. He's been disrespectful towards them in this series, but look at this. Probe's going to go out and he's going to see the SCV, or is he? No, because the SCV... Wait, you're not proxying a second barracks, are you? What? Oh, Clem! Playing with a second barracks proxy. Highly aggressive play. Wow. Okay. Interesting way to start here on Amygdala. Maybe he thought he'd catch MAXPAX not scouting, but MAXPAX playing safe. He's going to scout with the probe after the gateway, and he's going to head across this big map to see what's going on. Damn, this is wild. Do you guys think it's just Reapers, or does he go ham on something like Marauders? I think Reapers is reasonably flexible. You can get some damage, turn it into a normal build. Clem not building an SCV right now. I guess he's waiting to build the orbital on 18 rather than 19. And he starts a Marine. Wow, this is a Marauder build. What in the heck? He's going to commit to a Marauder push. Okay, guys, this is a crazy build. Now, you need to skip the orbital if you want to fake the expand, but he's not faking the expand. He's faking the double gas because the probe didn't come in there. Interesting. So he's going to go Tech Lab on the other side of the map. It's going to be an early Marauder push. This build is all about surprise. It's all about arriving with 2 to 3 Marauders, a few Marines from this side of the map. These Marines take forever to walk across. Hopefully catching an early Adept or Stalker, killing a bunch of probes, and of course transitioning into a normal build behind it. But your command center is massively delayed. I mean, you need to do a lot of damage. MAXPAX in the #1 hiding spot. He's playing 3-gate! He's playing 3-gate. It's the perfect build. It's the perfect build, guys. MAXPAX has not used it in this series. CLEM. Oh, no. This is a bad build order matchup. This is a 3-gate play for MAXPAX. He's going to build a gateway on the front and then a 3rd gate at home. He's planning to do some sort of Adept Stalker sort of attack. The Marines are going to slip by. Will they see it? Will they see it? Will they see it? They don't have enough vision. They see the probe. They see the probe. He builds the gateway. The Marines see it. CLEM, wake up. Wake up. CLEM. He didn't turn. He didn't realize. He continues. Maybe he saw it, but he didn't fully realize what that meant. He may have spotted the probe, but he doesn't realize what that means. Probe sees him move out. Batteries are on the way. MAXPAX here. He's got a 2nd gateway. He's actually not got a 3rd gateway at home because he's built these batteries immediately. But that early warning is so good for him. Excuse me, guys. He realizes what's happening when he saw those Marines moving out. That probe scout was excellent. He's got the batteries on the way. 1 Adept, 2 Stalkers here. CLEM, he's in trouble right now. He's trying to focus the Stalkers down, but the probes are being pulled. Once those batteries are up, it's much safer for MAXPAX, and the batteries are up, which means these Marauders start to fall. CLEM, he knows he's done. He can't get anything done. It's just like that. An anti-climax. CLEM plays one of the most epic series we've ever seen. With a comeback, you know, against Cyril the other day. We see crazy series between these guys. And then this one goes out with a little bit more of a whimper than a bang for the world champion. MAXPAX picking a fantastic build. That probe seeing the move out. And remember, with this build, you were insanely committed. You need to do a lot of damage. You don't even have a command center started. If he's got those batteries up, you're just kind of screwed. It's all about surprise with this build. But good luck surprising MAXPAX. The man is a savage, and he shuts it down really, really well. GG, well played. Great read by MAXPAX, guys. I just want to show you when he spotted what happened with that probe again. So this is MAXPAX's camera. We're on his camera. He sees, he goes, oh, crap, don't give it away. And then he's like, wait a second. Why are the 3 Marines moving across the map? And he instantly is like, oh, he's got to be this built. Like, you're all in. Why are Marines moving across the map on 1 base? It makes no sense, right? Because what he thought was a double gas build, you're building Reapers, you're building Hellions, you're building Widow Mines, Medevacs. You're not building 3 Marines and moving them out. So he instantly goes for the batteries, sees another Marine moving out, confirms, yep, you're literally rallying Marines across the map. And he's like, okay, stay back, get another pylon in case the front one goes down, and just keep making Stalkers, chronoing them, and trying to get to the front. Send a probe to confirm, sees what's coming in, and then he just gathers his forces. He even starts a sentry here, which I think is just a bit of insurance. In case it's an SCV pull, he can always force field his ramp. And that's basically his idea is, look, if I have to give up the natural, I'm not going to lose. I can just force field my ramp with energy recharge forever. That's a 4-1 victory, guys. MAXPAX takes the grand finals in a crazy, crazy start. Not what I expected. I did hear from the chat, apparently there was a lot of keyboard slams throughout this series. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for supporting the Patreon. If you want to go above and beyond to support the channel, check out the Patreon. Links below in the description, and a big thanks to everyone who's already up here on the Wall of Bacon. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye and good night.